Hi there, my name's Eddie, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm the Wolfsbane Witch. And today is day 7 of Ivy the Occultist 12 Days of Yule Challenge. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 ways to connect with nature during the winter season. I know it can be hard sometimes to connect to nature during the winter season, especially if you don't have access to the outdoors. So some of these are going to be things that you can do indoors without access to nature itself, and some of these are ones that you can do outdoors with access to things like snow, for instance. So whether you're doing a nature-based practice, whether you're a chaos magician, whether you have access to snow or not, this is a video where you can probably get at least a little bit of inspiration for something, so hopefully you enjoy. Without further ado, here's what I got for you. Number 1. Pay attention to plants used for seasonal decor or mentioned in seasonal songs. A lot of these plants, like holly, ivy, or mistletoe, have pagan roots and often have magical associations that you can use in your workings during this season. If you don't use them in your workings, you could do something like this that I have behind me here, which is a manifestation or energy book. And basically what I do is I paste pictures in here and I use those pictures to help me sort of imbue my space with the energy I want. Or I can use that for visualization to work with the plant spirit instead of having the plant literally there. So if you can't get your hands on mistletoe, for instance, if that's inaccessible to you, or if you don't want to buy it from somebody, you can do something like this that I have behind me. But that's just one idea. You could also use fake versions of these plants, so like fake mistletoe, fake ivy, fake holly, or even a fake Christmas tree like I happen to have this year, and use them to represent the real thing, and work with them energetically in that way. Number 2. A lot of the time during this season, you're going to be able to find in stores and different greenhouse areas where they sell wreaths and Christmas trees and the like, you're going to be able to find things like this poinsettia or mini cypress trees, and it's a really good time to bring those types of plant allies into your practice and get to kind of know them. Work with the plant and see if it works with you. Currently you can see my poinsettia. It is not doing too hot, but I think I'm gonna be able to save it. I wasn't quite sure how to care for it at the very beginning. Generally, I'm pretty good with my plants, but for some reason this one has been giving me trouble, so I've been giving it a little bit of extra TLC, and it seems to be doing a little bit better. If anyone has any tips on caring for poinsettias, by the way, please let me know. I do not want to lose this baby. It is beautiful, and I love it. I should also mention, there's nothing wrong with bringing in some tropical greenery or something like an aloe or a cactus, if that's what you're feeling. If holly and ivy is not your thing, you don't have to go for that. There's nothing wrong with just bringing in whatever greenery feels right to you, whatever's gonna brighten up your space and make your space feel more natural. If you want to connect to nature during winter as a reminder of the summer months, you can bring in tropical plants. It's just as valid as bringing in plants that are thriving during this season to represent the season itself. Number 3. Now, number 3 and number 4 are going to be if you have access to snow. So if you don't have access to snow, save it for a year that you do, or skip ahead to number 5. So for number 3, I suggest making something like snow water and charging that under the moon to make moon snow water or elemental snow water. I like to use snow water and purifying and cleansing sprays. It's really good for banishing and cleansing a space and helping to bring this, I don't know how to explain it, but very bright, white, and light feeling into a space. I like to mix it with dragon's blood. I think that the combination of snow and dragon's blood, for some reason, just works incredibly well together. So if you're going to make a spray, I highly suggest adding a little bit of dragon's blood. Not too much to it, just a little bit, especially if you're going to be using it for cleansing and protecting a space. Number 5. So number 5 is going to be a little bit more detailed than the last one because I kind of came up with this one on the fly and I thought it was really cool, so I just wanted to share with you my sort of idea for connecting with nature in a more chaos magic-y sort of way. So the idea is to make a snowman and to use it as either a healing poppet or as a servitor. I would suggest using the servitor as a sort of like home protection ward for the outside of your home, or maybe a protection ward against the elements if you're having a particularly snowy and icy winter. Something like that would be really interesting, I think, to use this for. Another thing I think it'd be kind of interesting to use this for is as a healing spell or a sort of helper in a way, to help with seasonal depression or something like that, because this is only a temporary ward. Because, as inspired by Frosty the Snowman, it is going to melt away. And so as it melts away, the spell power behind it is going to fade. So keep this in mind when you're doing the spell. Don't use it for any long-term wards or protections because that's not what it's for. It's only a seasonal spell. It's only going to last as long as the snowman itself lasts. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you're enchanting this snowman is you're going to want to add herbs to it. You can add herbs in specific places like the heart of it or the head of it, and imbue the herbs that you put in there with specific intentions. So let's say you want to do a healing spell. You might want to roll rosemary into the heart of the snowman, or snow person, I should say. And then for something like the eyes, you could use crystals if you use crystals. If you use chakras or do Reiki, you could do Reiki on the snowman. You could place the crystals as buttons in the chakra positions or something like that if you felt that would be helpful for you. Or you could enchant clothing, kind of like Frosty the Snowman, and you could enchant that and imbue that clothing as you put it onto the snowman with whatever energy you want. So with the scarf, you might say like, this scarf is going to aid in such and such, and this hat is going to aid in such and such, you know what I mean? So you can really customize it and make it your own. It's very much like a typical clay poppet, except for this is a little bit more temporary and obviously made of snow. And then the last one, number 5, is to meditate on the season. If you don't have access to the season itself, like if you don't have access to snow and you're really used to that, like me this year, I ended up moving down south and I'm from New York, so this is the first winter I've had where it hasn't been really snowy, and that's kind of thrown me off a little bit. So typically I have access to snow and I love making, like I said, snow water and making servitors out of snowmen and just different weird random holiday things like that during the season. But this year's been a little different for me, so what I've been doing is meditating, and I'll use things like winter soundscapes or winter visuals on YouTube to help kind of put me into that headspace, remind me of nature, and to help me meditate a little bit easier on the season, especially if I'm having trouble with visualization that day. That's about all I have for this video. I hope you found something in it that you enjoy and that you want to try out. If you do try anything out, or if you have in the past tried something like this out, definitely let me know what you think and how it's worked for you. If you've subscribed or if you've watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. And thank you again to Ivy the Occultist for making this 12 Days of Yule challenge. I'm really excited to finish it up because I've been really enjoying it so far. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.